Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. I'm still traveling through Twin Peaks. I wanted to talk about the arrival of the return. It was very frustrating for me. I mean, I was a Twin Peaks fan. I watched the original series. I loved it. I wished it had continued. I wanted it to come back in some form. I was excited about Fire Walk with Me, then disappointed to find out it was a prequel, but still interested in it. Then found out supposedly there were some sequel scenes shot, then to find out that they were either didn't exist or were, deleted. And then this whole idea that there was more Twin Peaks out there, and or maybe we could get more, and just this constant sort of longing, sort of for more, sort of watching it again, and then you love it, but then you just get to the end and there's this, you don't want to leave Twin Peaks, and it's just like it ends, and you don't know, it's always excited to start it off, but it never sort of ends well. And then we heard around 2014 that they were going to do it, and then I heard that I heard originally they were going to do a straight reboot, but it was not going to delete, erase any of Twin Peaks, but it was going to be a new agent coming to Twin Peaks in 2017 or whatever, 2016, and they were going to basically be trying to work out what happened to Dale Cooper 25 years ago, because he had disappeared or died or something, and it was going to be a female officer, and they were going to be new and fresh, and they were going to basically encounter the town like he had and explore the town and sort of uncover its mysteries. And it'd be a little bit of a reboot of the original series, but it was going to just move on from what happened in the original series. I loved that idea. And then I heard that Lynch was out and that he'd had some sort of fit, because they had basically told him, we want Twin Peaks Season 3. The fans want Twin Peaks Season 3. We are paying you to make Twin Peaks Season 3, so make Twin Peaks Season 3. Whereas he wanted to make just a David Lynch film in 18 pieces is what it turned out to be. And it was related to Twin Peaks. It involved Twin Peaks, but it wasn't about Twin Peaks. It wasn't Twin Peaks. It was just its own creation, basically. And I feel like he should have walked away. If he couldn't give them what they wanted, he should have just walked away. But instead, they gave in and said, fine, take our money, just give us something back in episodic format that we can sell, and we'll be fine. So originally it was supposed to be 8 or 10 episodes. It ended up being 18 by the time he was finished with it. They didn't know how many episodes they were getting. It was just let him go, do his thing, and it'll be great. And part of me really felt like this was kind of the revenge of Mark Frost, because all these years fans had been saying, oh, David Lynch is so brilliant, Twin Peaks could have been so much better had he been free. That the idea that Mark Frost and the studios had just kept him from actually really creating the brilliant Twin Peaks. And I'm like, the only reason why it was that good was because it was cohesive and you could, comprehend it, because it had moments that strayed outside of reality and logic, but for the most part it was a straightforward mystery series, melodrama series. And Lynch did say it was a melodrama, so I'm not insulting it. But I really think on some level he said after all, he's just like, fine, just do it, just go. And he just let Lynch run free, and it was just like, you want 100% Lynch? Here you go, let's see how you like that. And he didn't rein him in, he didn't do any of the stuff he did before, and he just let Lynch go. And that's how we got basically a David Lynch film in 18 pieces, with the Twin Peaks brand on it, basically, and some connective tissue and some, characters and scenes and stuff, but it wasn't Twin Peaks Season 3. So I feel like we were betrayed, and I mean, I was so excited when I heard that this was coming out. I went to the pop-up cafes. I had, cherry pie and coffee and everything with people, and it was just amazing to see the billboards everywhere and the magazine covers, and just the idea that Twin Peaks came back and was coming back, and I got to experience it again and got to go back to Twin Peaks was just such a dream. And then I saw it. It started off interesting, but and I didn't mind, there were two elements really of the show that were issues. One was all these new characters seemed to not be related to the other characters, and we wanted to go back to the original characters, find out what happened with them. We were happy for them to bring us to new people and have new people involved in the show and all that, and younger actors and all that. but we wanted to find out what happened to the originals, and I guess move on from there. And we wanted, it to be about Twin Peaks and about the original mystery, or about, Laura and just the original mystery. And what we got was a whole bunch of scenes that seemed just barely connected to Dougie and the FBI and Mr. C, and just all these extra stuff that we don't care about, we're not invested in, and don't seem to related to anything or important to anything. And they're very long and slow, and it just felt like Lynch was messing with us and torturing us, and just, there are those long scenes that go on where nothing happens or nothing's said, and you're just like, I waited 25 years for more Twin Peaks, and you're wasting it on this, was the feeling. And I know it wasn't just me feeling like that, and I didn't really know how to take it. I watched it week to week. There were moments that were great. There were other long stretches where I'm just like, what is this? Why am I watching it? And when it ended, I knew, I'm like, this is going to mess with you. You're not going to get any answers. You're not going to get what you want. But I couldn't quite anticipate how much time was wasted in that final episode, just with nothing really happening, and how far from everything would go, and how it was straight. I love the very, very ending, but there was so much of it that there were issues with. Just like the scenes with the guys trying to assassinate, Dougie, and all that stuff that just went on, and just people wanted Twin Peaks season 3, and they got something sort of Twin Peaks like that, and I think there are a lot of disappointed people. But then, like I said, there's two audiences for Twin Peaks. There's people who love mysteries, who just sort of humour the rest of it, the surreal stuff, the weird stuff. And then there's people who love Lynch, who love that side of things, who felt like every other element of the show that worked or was conventional was like a compromise that Lynch, wasn't able to achieve what he could have. Because had Lynch had complete control of the original series, there would have just been a pilot movie that would have been released as a movie, and that's it. There wouldn't have been a series if it weren't for Mark Frost. So I would have been happy if Mark Frost had just done the series without him and just expanded on the elements that were in there from him. And I know how bad that must sound to Twin Peaks fans, if there's any listening, and David Lynch fans, Twin Peaks Lynch fans or whatever. That's the thing, trying to differentiate between the two. But so I just really want to talk about that because I wanted to talk about it for years. It bothered me so much. It was so disappointing. I felt so betrayed. And I didn't watch the show again on Stan because I streamed it on Stan week to week. And once I saw it, I think I might have watched the second half of the last episode again right away. And that's it. I bought the DVDs from the UK because they were the first ones that were released that I saw. I eventually got the Blu-ray, the local Blu-ray, and the box set with both the original series and the return, or the limited event series. Because people either refer to it as a limited event series or the return. They don't often refer to it as Twin Peaks, the return, and they certainly never refer to it as Twin Peaks Season 3. And I think that's telling. But part of me is like, I'm happy he got to do what he wanted, and his artistic integrity was, not compromised, and he got to express himself and everything. But I feel like he knew there was an audience who wanted Twin Peaks Season 3. He should have compromised for us, because without us, no one would have given him the money to make that. So, okay, make your film, but also make Twin Peaks Season 3 for us as well. And I don't feel like he successfully did that, if he even thought of doing that or tried to do that. So, but going back and watching it again now, I have to admit I didn't watch the whole series. What basically happened was, someone out there, I'm not going to tell you where to find it, there is a version of Twin Peaks The Return, which is 8 episodes. Some are as short as 20, 23 minutes. Most of them are 40, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. And a couple of them are actually episodes combined, which are about an hour and 5 minutes. So basically, it's like the whole series condensed down to just the scenes in Twin Peaks and the scenes specifically related to, Mr. C and Cole and all of that. And I really enjoyed it. Once you removed all the other elements that were so frustrating and distracting, and I felt like were just keeping me from what I actually wanted to see or focus on, it was a good solid 8 episodes. that I really appreciated the second time around, and enjoyed the second time around. But I don't quite know what Mr. Lynch would think of someone doing that to his work. It's kind of like with Fire Walk with Me, where the same person had separated all the scenes and just put them down chronologically so you could watch like the 3-hour version of Fire Walk with Me, without actually editing it together. I know that other people have, and there's different versions and that, blah, blah. But yeah, I just want to talk about the disappointment, the betrayal. Twin Peaks, the betrayal is what I'm calling this, because I feel a lot of fans felt like, and a lot of normies who didn't really get Lynch were really disappointed because they got caught up in all the hype of the mystery of it. And there is no mystery in this series. There is no new Laura Palmer or no Laura Palmer-esque story. It's just exploring the Lynchism of it all. And the Lynch fans loved that, but everyone else, not so much. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of all this.